Hi, today you're going to learn how to find the surface area of rectangular prisms. Our guest along for this journey is Puppy Prism. He'll be joining us for this journey. Looking at the lesson and based on what you've already learned in your geometry so far, what do you think some of the things are that you will learn in this particular lesson? Hopefully you know that you're going to learn how to find the surface area of a prism, a rectangular prism. And then the other thing is that you will find out the relationship between the area of each face of the prism and its surface area. So let's do a little vocabulary review. Okay, what do you think a surface is? A surface is the outer face the outside or exterior boundary of a thing. Like the surface of a table is the outer boundary of the table at the top. Okay, the area, define area. You should know what area is based on all the different lessons that you've had so far, but it's the number of units. Whoops. The number of closed units needed to cover the surface of a closed figure. And then what is surface area? Surface area would be the sum of all the faces or surfaces of a 3D figure. Okay, an example of this, a real-world example of this would be how much wrapping paper you might need to wrap a present. Needed to wrap a present. Okay, let's look at this real-world example here that we have. Roberta is wrapping a gift for her sister's quinceanera. She places it in a box with the measurements shown below. What is the area of one face of the box? Okay, so let's look at this. If you look, what's the area of one face of the box? If you can remember, the face of the box is a square. How do we find the area of a square? We times length times width. So 10 times 10 would be 100 square inches, right? How many faces does the box actually have? Well, this is a cube, so it would have 6 faces. You can see that 1, 2, 3. There'd be one back here, one over here, and one below. What operations would you use to find the surface area of the box? Well, you would have to multiply to get the surface area of each face, and then you would add all of those together. So you would use multiplication and addition. Okay, so the surface area of that present would be 600 square inches. Okay, go ahead and go to your next page, please. Okay, our new friend, Puppy Prism, is here to give you the definition of the surface area of a rectangular prism.
Hey there, Puppy Prism here to help you out. Going to give you the definition of the surface area of a rectangular prism. The surface area, otherwise known as SA, of a rectangular prism with length L, width W, and height H is the sum of the areas of all the faces. You can also write that with symbols. SA equals 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times height times width.
Take a look at an example. The surface area of a prism is the sum of the areas of its faces. So you would look for the front and the back, and you would get LH plus LH, so that's the front and the back. So you do 2 times the length and the height. The top and the bottom, you do length and width, and do 2 of those. And then the 2 sides, you do height and width, and you would do 2 times both of those. So the final formula that you get is 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the height times the width. Let's go ahead and practice that a little bit. So let's look at the first example. Find the surface area of this rectangular prism here. Find the area of each pair of faces. Front and back. So look for the front and the back. Okay, the front and the back would be 8 times 6. So right here, 8 times 6 and 8 times 6. Okay, so 8 times 6 is 48. And then you do that 2 times. So 2 times 48. Then you look at the top and the bottom, which is 7 times 8. The top and the bottom are right here. So 7 times 8, you do that 2 times. So 2 times 56. And then you look at the sides, which are 6 times 7. You do that 2 times. So 2 times 42. So then you add it all together. So 48 plus 48 plus 56 plus 56 plus 42 plus 42 is equal to 292. That's the area of the cube or the prism. So 292 square meters. So let's see now if you can do this one. Find the surface area of the rectangular prism. So let me just help you out by showing you the sides that you'll be using. So you've got one side right here, which is 10 times 10. You have 2 of those. Look at the color coding. This one would be 10 times 15. And then this one is going to be 15 here and 10 here. So you have 2 of those that are 15 times 10. Okay, so go ahead and write out the formula. I'll help you by writing out the formula. 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the height times the width. Plug in all of your numbers and then come back with the answer. Press pause now to calculate your answer. Okay, let's check in with Puppy Prism and see if our answer matches his.
Hey there, here's Puppy Prism coming to you from his cruise ship, taking a cruise to Alaska. Let me give you the answer to this prism problem before I go out and have a great time. The answer to problem A is 800 inches squared. You have 2 sides that would equal 100, so you have 200, and then you have 4 sides that equal 150. So that's 600 plus 200, which is 800. If you need help, please ask your teacher now.
Go ahead and write these numbers just so you know where they came from. So you have 2 that are 2 times 10 times 10, plus 2 that are 15 times 10, which is 150, plus 2 more of those. So that's where you would get 200 right here, because 10 times 10 is 100, times 2 is 200, plus 2 times 150, which is 300, and that would be 300. So 300, 300, and 200 is 800. Good job. Go ahead and go to your next page, please. Okay, let's do a few more examples. You can use nets or models to find the surface area of a rectangular prism. You can also use the surface area formula, which is SA equals 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times height times width. I will tell you that you will be doing nets in social studies this year at some point, but for now I'm showing you both. Like, this is what a net is. It's a model of the actual prism. You can use that to help you, or you can simply use the formula. So let's take a look. Find the area of each face, front and back. 2 times the length times the height. So you look for the length and the height. Okay, so you have 7 is the length, 4 is the height, and you would times that here. 7 times 4 is 28, times 2 is 56. The top and the bottom, okay, so the top and the bottom are right here. So you have length and width, okay. So 7 times 5, 2 times 7 times 5, which is 70. And then you have the left and the right sides, which are right here. The sides are 5 times 4. So 2 times 4 times 5, which is 40. You add them all together to get your total surface area. So you add 56 plus 70 plus 40, which is 166. Let's look at another example. For number 3, let's find the surface area of this prism right here. So use the dimensions that you have. The length is 7, the width is 4.8, and the height is 6. So for the front and the back, we need 2 times the length times the height. So we already saw that the length is 7. Let me just stretch this out just a little bit so we have a little bit bigger to see. So the length is 7, the height is 6. So 2 times 7 times 6 is 84. Please use your calculator for these. The numbers start getting bigger and we have a decimal. The top and the bottom, we use 2 times length times width. The length is once again 7. The width is 4.8. If I use my calculator to do 2 times 7 times 4.8, I will get 67.2. The two sides, 2 times height times width, the height is 6, the width is 4.8. If I times that all together, I will get 57.6. Now I need to add them all up. So I'm going to add 84 plus 67.2 plus 57.6 for a total surface area of 208.8 square centimeters. So now it's time for you to try one on your own. Find the surface area of this rectangular prism. Okay, use the formula that you were just given. 2 times length times height, 2 times length times width, and 2 times height times width. Let's do it just like we did just above. It'll make it a little bit easier for you. So let's set it up. 2 times, then you have your 2 dimensions. I'm setting it up just like the example above to help you out. And then we will add these boxes. This should help you to really solve this. Okay, and let's just write our dimensions over here. So we have a length is 4, a height is 2, and a width of 3. Okay, press pause now. Fill in all of the blanks that you see and with the answers that are, with the numbers that you have, and then come up with your answer. Check with Puppy Prism when you are finished. Okay, let's see how you did. Puppy seems to be having a great time on his cruise. Let's see if he had time to solve this problem.
Wow, it is sunset time, and you are still working on your surface area. Good job. The answer for problem B is 52 meters squared. If you had any trouble getting this answer, please check with your teacher now.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the numbers just so you can see how we got this. The length was 4, the height was 2. 2 times 8 is 16. For the length is 4, the width is 3. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 3 is 24. And then the height and the width, height is 2, width is 3. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. If we add 16 plus 24 plus 12, we will get 52 meters squared. Great work so far. Let's go ahead and go to the last page. Let's do another example, a more real world example. A geode is being sent as a gift. It is packed in a box that measures 7 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 16 inches tall. What is the surface area of the box? Use your dimensions that you are given and fill in just like we did before. 2 times the length times the height. So 2 times 7 times 16 plus 2 times the length times the width. So 2 times 7 times 3 plus 2 times the height times the width. So 2 times 16 times 3. We total all that up. We get 14 times 16 plus 14 times 3 plus 32 times 3, which is 224 plus 42 plus 96, which equals a total surface area of 362 square inches. Okay, now it is time for you to complete the guided practice and let us know how you're doing. So in this case, what we would like you to do is find the surface area of each of the rectangular prisms. Please use the formula that we've given you. 2 times length times height plus 2 times length times width plus 2 times height times width. Okay? All three of these, you are given all the measures that you need. For number 4, Thomas keeps his die-cast car in a glass display case as shown. What is the surface area of the glass, including the bottom? So here you have, this is your length, this is your width, and this is your height. Okay. The last question is, what is the relationship between area and surface area? Think about how we are finding area of the faces and we're combining them to get our total surface area. And then the last thing is, are you ready to move on? Shade the section that applies to you. I'm ready to move on. I have a lot of questions, or I have a few questions. You can also wait to shade that until you check your answers with Puppy Prism and see how you did on these practice problems. Okay, let's see how you did on that guided practice.
What a beautiful sunset. Before I head off to sleep, let me give you the last answers. You've been working so hard on this. For problem 1, it's 36 meters squared. For problem 2, 300.75 feet squared. For problem 3, 298 centimeters squared. For number 4, 390 inches squared. For number 5, surface area is calculated. For a 3D figure, it's the sum of all the areas of the faces. Don't forget to rate yourself.
Okay, like I said, if you didn't do well on these problems or you didn't get the answers that Puppy Prism got, please stop at this point. Give yourself a rating where you have questions, and then please show your teacher. I hope you've learned a lot about surface area. Great luck with all the rest of your work. Bye for now.